Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our parent information webinar. We are going to review the 23-24 Schools of Choice process. Again, I want to thank you all for being here. My name is Angelica Diaz Naranjo. I am the Supervisor of Child Welfare and Attendance. With me today, I have members of our Child Welfare and Attendance Office, including CWA Coordinator Nancy Romero, Secretary Jessica Freitas, Interim Pupil Records Technician Annabelle Davis, who is also assisting with translation. David Franklin, which is our IT. Estela Ortega, Secretary. And Scott Smith, Communications Officer for the district. There's a few things I want to review before we begin. For Spanish translation, we have a dial-in. If you can please call in to the number on the screen. It is 562-228-1156 and dial extension 49999. There will be someone translating the presentation in Spanish at that number and extension. Additionally, this presentation is being recorded and it will be available on the Schools of Choice website after today. And then one of these Zoom features under the Q&A, you will have the ability to post questions by clicking the Q&A on the bottom of your screens throughout the presentation. And we will have a time at the end of the presentation to review questions, and we will provide answers as well. We also have an FAQ feature on the Schools of Choice website that we will show you this evening. In case in the future any questions come up, you can go to that information, and most answers to your questions will be there as well. This is our agenda for today's meeting. We're going to begin by reviewing the Schools of Choice Board Policy Update. There were a few changes that were approved during the October 4th board meeting. We're also going to review Schools of Choice ranking, as well as the Schools of Choice timeline, scenarios. We're going to look at key features of the Schools of Choice application. I'm also going to show you all the new and updated Schools of Choice website. And we're also going to walk you through the Schools of Choice application so that you can actually see what it's going to look like. For those families who have participated in Schools of Choice in the past, we're not using the application that we were using previously. We're using a completely new application. It's very user-friendly, so we want to kind of guide you through it and show you what questions are going to be asked and what the new application is going to look like, so you're familiar with it before January 1st. I'm also going to review inter-district information. Because our Schools of Choice has changed, I want to make sure that all families are aware of what the changes mean and how it's going to affect their application and enrollment for students. And then at the end, we'll also discuss application assistance. And then finally, we'll end with questions and answers. So the board policy update, as you can see here, on October 4th, 2022, the ABC Unified School District Board of Education approved the revision of Board Policy and Administrative Regulation 5116.1, which involves our inter-district open enrollment, which is our Schools of Choice process. And basically the changes indicated that the timeline would change, and that has been updated to from March to January. So in previous years, our Schools of Choice process began on March 1st, and now it's changing to January 1st, and the application will end January 31st. So I'll go into details about the timeline in the next slides. In addition to that, we've also revised and refined the ranking process. The ranking has changed to, as where before we used to have 8 rankings in the lottery, we only now have 2. and these are specifically to ABC Unified School District residents. This means that out-of-district families would need to go through a different process, the intra-district permit request process, which again, we will go over the dates for that as well. And as always, this last statement did not change in our board policy. Applications for open enrollment, which is our schools of choice, shall be subject to a random, unbiased selection process, which is our lottery, to determine which applicant shall be admitted into their school of choice. So that remains the same. And these are our rankings in order. So again, this has changed. It is now school of choice is specifically for ABC Unified School District residents, and there are only 2 rankings. The first priority is pertaining to sibling applicants of students who will continue attending the school in which the applicant is applying. So the key thing here is sibling and continuing to attend the same school, right? The second priority are for students who reside in ABC, including students who are in specialized programs pending availability. So in terms of schools of choice, these are the only rankings that we have. And this is going to be our schools of choice timeline. So again, in January, our school of choice application will open, and this will be from January 1st at 12:01 a.m. and it'll go through January 31st at 2 p.m. I want to make emphasis on a question that has come up in the past. Does it matter when you complete your application? Are you going to get more priority if you complete your application at exactly January 1st at 12:01 a.m. Rather than completing it later in the month? There is no more priority of when you apply. The applications are not going to be reviewed until the application window closes. This means that if you are waiting for the application to open on January 1st, it's not going to make a difference whether you apply then or you apply on January 31st at 11 a.m. So just be aware of that, be mindful of that, that there's no, the timing of when you complete your application and submit it, it's not going to have any weight in the lottery process. In February, on February 22nd, we are going to be running the lottery live, and this will be another virtual webinar that we will be offering for parents to attend. It'll be at 4:30 p.m. and this is where we basically go into the database and we will run the lottery and make it live for parents to view. Notifications will begin to be sent out on March 1st, starting at 10 a.m. and families will have the option to receive text messages or email notifications. These notifications will happen all through March 31st until 11:59 on March 31st. With regards to the notifications, the reason why this runs the entire month is because the lottery is constantly shifting and moving, right? So students are going to be automatically accepted and given offers. Students will be declined, and then there will be students on wait lists. So the wait list is going to continue to move all throughout the month, offering students placements as applications, as offers are auto declined or acceptances are declined, right? So just be aware of that. You want to make sure that you're checking your emails, that you're checking text messages, and you're checking and logging into your parent dashboard to make sure that you're keeping up to date with the information with regards to your child's application. And then once schools of choice is over after March 31st, the wait lists are at that point, they're gone. There's no appeal process for schools of choice. We now begin the intra-district permit process. So after April 1st, parents who reside outside of the ABC Unified School District will have the opportunity to apply for an inter-district permit. Now, I will get into more information about the permit because you really need to work. If you are an out-of-district family, you need to really get information from your district of residence with regards to their deadlines and any timeframes that they have for when families can request permits from their own district of residence. Okay, so I do recommend that if you are an out-of-district family, you start looking into that now. So I have a scenario here, and I will go ahead and read it. Robert is a second grade resident attending Aloha Elementary School on Schools of Choice. In the fall of the 2023-2024 school year, Robert is going to continue at Aloha as a third grader. Robert's younger sister, Kimberly, will start kindergarten in the fall of 23-24. Their parents will submit a school of choice application for Kimberly to begin kindergarten at Aloha. So Kimberly's application is going to be assigned a ranking of number 1 because she has a sibling that's currently attending the same school that they're applying for. So let's say that this scenario were a little bit different, that Robert is attending Aloha, that he's a resident, but Robert's family wants to change to another school. They don't want to attend Aloha or their school of residence. They want to attend, let's say, Leo Elementary School. And so now Robert and Kimberly are both applying for Leo Elementary School as new students to Leo. There are no siblings attending Leo, so they would both be ranked a number 2, right? So the lottery is going to vary depending on these 2 priorities and the number of available spaces for each grade level at each school site, right? So it's just important for you to be aware of the rankings and what it means for you, depending on whether you have other children in other schools or if your child is transitioning from elementary to middle, from middle to high school, depends. It's going to vary depending on what your situation is, it's what your ranking is going to be. The next scenario is Sarah is an 8th grade student attending Haskell Middle School through an interdistrict permit from Paramount Unified School District. In the fall of 2023-2024 school year, Sarah wants to attend Artesia High School. Will Sarah have to apply for schools of choice? And the answer to this is no. Sarah is no longer eligible for schools of choice. Sarah's parents or guardians will need to apply for an interdistrict permit since Sarah is transitioning into high school. Sarah's parents, guardians may begin this application beginning on April 1st. So again, the interdistrict process is going to vary depending on your district of residence and their own requirements. In particular, Paramount Unified, for example, we know that they only require an updated permit at every grade transition, right? So at the grade span. So from elementary to middle and middle to high school, this particular student is transitioning from middle to high school and wants to continue attending ABC. So for that reason, the family has to request an updated interdistrict permit, right? So that is this specific case. Now, let's say that Sarah is a 7th grade student attending Haskell Middle School on a permit. Now, the family wants to try to move to another school within our district. They may be interested in Tetzlaff, a program in Tetzlaff. So now, because they're moving from one school to another, we will require the family to obtain a new interdistrict permit from their district. So if that were the case, then Sarah's family would need to request an updated interdistrict permit from Paramount and then documenting on the permit the new school that they're requesting to attend. And then we would go through the process of checking space and availability at that school. So these are the key features of the school of choice application. The application is going to ask you for your home address in order to identify residency status. There will be a question about sibling information, so please make sure you have that information correctly and correctly submitted in the application. Sibling must be in attendance for the school year in which the applicant is applying for. Something I want to clarify that, in the previous application that we had, sometimes was confusing for parents in that a lot of times parents thought that by including the sibling information that indicated that you were now completing 2 applications in one, right? So the for both students that you were entering in the application. So that's not the case. You need to create, even though you're entering sibling information, if you're going to apply for schools of choice for that additional child, you have to make a separate application for them. And I will show you in the application walkthrough where you would do that. You may select up to 4 schools of choice. Do not include your school of residence. Please make sure that you do not include your school of residence, and schools must be listed in order of preference. The application will also be available in Spanish. That is a new feature that is offered by this new application system. I also want to make sure that families are aware that transitional kindergarten, online independent study program, ABC Virtual Academy, Whitney High School, and Tracy High School are not part of schools of choice. And finally, our dual immersion programs that are very popular, for example, at Nemis and Ferguson, they have a separate application process. And I highly encourage you that if you're interested in the dual immersion program, you definitely want to get in contact with those school sites and start that application process. It is a separate application process. You can have 2 simultaneous applications going, right? So you can have your dual immersion application going for Nemis, let's say, and then you can also be submitting your school of choice application just in case you don't get into the dual immersion program. But they're separate applications, so just be aware of that, okay? I also, we're gonna go through and I'm gonna walk you through how to access the school of choice website. And I'm also going to show you where you will be able to begin your application. So if we go to the website, I'm gonna click here. And then this is the ABC Unified School District website. You're gonna click on or select family here, and you're just going to go down to schools of choice. Click on that. And then once you're here, you will see that there is no information because we've updated. We want you to click on this link here. And then it's going to take you to our website. So we're very excited. This is updated and revamped, and we're looking forward to continue to use this for our school of choice information. If you scroll all the way down on that home page, you're going to see here, apply online. This will be live on January 1st. You'll be able to click here and it's going to direct you to the new application. So please make sure that for now, you're not going in there. You're probably, if you click on it, you're going to see older information. It will not be live. The application will not be live until January 1st at 12:01 a.m. And then here we also have a link to our magnet school. So if you missed out on the magnet fairs that we had previously this month, you may want to go in here and check out our magnet schools. Additionally, up at the top, I'm going to kind of show you what we have available here on the website. Under eligibility, we will be posting specifically in this section the enrollment data. So this is where in the next couple of days before the winter break begins, we will be posting enrollment data for all of our schools, so you can see what spaces will be available at all of our school sites at each grade level. So that information will be public for all of you to view. And once those numbers are posted, those are the final numbers. Those numbers do not change. So I do want to make you aware of that. I also want to share that the numbers that will get posted here are specifically for schools of choice. For families who are applying through an inter-district permit in April, these numbers will not apply to that. We will have to get information from school sites after schools of choice is done to figure out how much space is left and what numbers are available for us to accommodate for inter-district families. So I just want to make sure that that is clear. I know that question has come up in the past, that the information that's on this website is specifically for our families that are going through the school of choice process. If you click on process here at the top, it will take you to more information about schools of choice. That's not going. Here we are. It will take you to more information about schools of choice and in terms of how to apply, the board policy, additional information about the ranking, to provide clarification on that, as well as acceptance and notifications when you will receive those dates and things like that are here. Okay. If you click on frequently asked questions, this is where you will be able to find information. There's a document here that provides you with the more common questions that we have received about schools of choice, that you can come in here and kind of get guidance on the answers to those questions. So that this is available to you. And from questions that we get tonight, we will continue to add here. And this is again available to all families online. I'm going to go ahead and go back to the presentation. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and jump into the walkthrough of the application. So this is what you will see by clicking on that link that says apply online. It'll direct you here. And here it's going to give you a description of what the board policy update has been. You will be able to, it'll redirect you back to the ABC Unified School District website. And then you will be able to log in via Google or Facebook, and then you can also create an account. You will always be able to come back. Once you have your account, you can come back here and enter your email or your phone number and your password and log into your parent dashboard. But this is what you're going to see. So we'll then, once you create an account, you log in, you then are presented to this page where you are going to be required to enter your information and create your account. So here I've entered my name, my last name, my preferred language, and then my email address, confirming my email address and my phone number. You're also able to indicate here your preferred communication. So you can select text messages or email. And then this is really important because this is how you're going to be receiving those notifications. So please make sure you pay attention to that and you indicate, a manner, if you check your emails and that works for you, if you rather get text messages and that works for you, then I would select either or. Once you go through that, you're going to start here. Well, it's going to welcome you, and then you're now going to start an application by selecting Get Started. You're going to add a student, right? And this is the same place where you can add multiple students. So you can have more than one depending on how many children you have. This place here and at the top of the screen is where you can change the language to Spanish as well. And I'll talk a little bit more about the dashboard and messages later on. So once you begin your student application, you're going to be directed here. The application is going to ask you, is your student currently enrolled in ABC Unified School District? And you will either indicate yes or no. It is going to be really important that you have access to your student's ID number. We will be putting on our School of Choice website a link to Aries Parent Portal where you can access your child's information and you can have access to your student's ID number. You can also check in with your child's school site and ask them for the student ID number, but this is really important. Please do not, if you do not remember your child's student ID number, please do not, and they are a current student, please do not select no. We need you to select yes, and we need you to enter a correct student ID number. That is going to help the application identify your child and then also confirm the address that you're entering for your child. So this is a really important. If you select no, then it's going to take as if you're a completely new student to our district and you have not been attending the ABC Unified School District, okay? So just make sure that you have your child's student ID number. You can access that through Aries Parent Portal, through your child's report card, by calling the school, etc. The next section is the student information. So you're then going to begin entering information about your student. You want to make sure that you include your student's grade level for the upcoming school year. So for example, I currently have a kindergartner and he will be in first grade next year. So under grade level, I would enter first grade. Okay. Under current school, so in this section right here, you want to make sure that if your child is currently it's going to be entering kindergarten and they're attending a preschool or maybe a private school, or maybe they are in first grade, you're a resident, but you've been attending another district and you're now interested in returning to your home district of ABC, you would select under current school, select other, and then indicate what school that is. Okay, so it's really important that you do that so that we are aware of your child's former school. And then you will then begin your application. We want to make sure that families are aware that in the any application that is incomplete, has false information, or if there's a duplicate application, these applications will not be processed, and it will result in your application being canceled. And by canceled, that means that the application is not going to be part of the lottery and your child will not be placed in a school of choice. So just make sure that you're aware of that. It's really important that you enter correct information that matches what we have in Aries, or, you know, it's going to match if you're an incoming or new in kindergarten student, it's going to match the information that you're going to be entering in Aries upon enrollment. Under student information, so this is what your page is going to look like once you begin the application. You're going to see all of the steps of the application, very simple, very straightforward. Under student information, you're going to enter your child's first name, last name, middle name, birth date, gender, etc. So you'll go through that first step. Once you complete it, this will turn green, and then you'll continue, save and continue, or you can save and exit. If you need more time to complete the application, you can also do that. Just make sure you submit by January 31st. Okay. The next step will be information about a student's individualized education plan, if there is one. So this is really important. We want to make sure that we, you know, are able to provide your child the services that they are required to receive. So if your child receives special education services, you should indicate yes. If not, indicate no. And then if you indicate yes, there will be more questions about the types of services, and then there will be a section for you to upload your child's IEP. If your child is a current student of the district, you don't need to upload an IEP because we have a record of that, okay? The application is going to let you proceed without submitting a document. However, if you are an incoming student that has been attending another school, a private school, etc., but you are a resident, and your child has an IEP and is receiving special education services, we do need for you to enter that information here. And that is really important because by law, we have to provide these services, right? So as part of the lottery, we have to make sure that there is space availability for all of our students who are requesting enrollment at one of our schools. And this is information that we are required to ask and is needed in order to make sure that we have space available at the schools that are being requested. So once that step gets completed, you will move on to step 3. This is the guardian information. You will include your information in this page. Parent guardians that are completing the application should be the same person enrolling the student in Aries. And I'll give you an example of situations that we have had in the past. So in the past, we have had situations where maybe uncle or grandma came into the application, submitted the application, signed on the application, and then we have parents calling, asking for information about the student's application. So it's really important that the legal guardian, whether that's legal parents, step parent, whoever the legal guardian of the child is should be the person completing the application, including their email address that they are consistently checking. So just make sure that that information is accurate, okay? Parents and guardians will have until January 31st to go back into their application and make edits if any information changes. Okay, so just be aware of that. The next step, step 4, will be the school selection, right? So at this point, you're going to be presented with a list of schools, and then you can actually filter and sort depending on the schools that you're interested, the location. You can view a map here of the schools that are closest to you. You can kind of get more information from the schools by selecting these features here. And then you will then begin selecting. So you can select, again, up to 4 schools. You do not have to select the 4 schools. That is totally up to you. Additionally, again, a reminder, Whitney, Tracy, ABC Virtual Academy, OISP are now part of the school's choice process. And then we also ask you to please not include your resident school in this selection. And in addition, after you do this, you're going to then have the option, well, you're going to need to rank your choices, right? So in this example here, I ranked Melbourne first, Lille, and then Palms. There has been some questions about from families, if I only select one school, let's say I only select one school, that's the school I really want to get into, do I have a better chance of getting into that school if I select only one school? And the answer is no. Again, it is a lottery. It's going to be by chance. And, you know, we have no control of where the lottery is going to place students, right? So if you only select one school, it's not guaranteed that you're going to get into that one school. You may get an offer, you may not, you may be declined, or you may be waitlisted. And again, with the wait list, there's no guarantee as well. So just want to make everyone aware of that so that that is clear, okay? And then this is where, you will be able to rank. You will have the opportunity to go into the application and change rankings. If you ever, change your mind or want to remove a school, you have that option. You can come back and make edits to this as well until January 31st. The next information will be the sibling information. So this is where you will answer the question of whether or not the student has any siblings currently attending any school or program in the district. You will indicate yes or no. So if you indicate yes, you will then include the information, include the school that the sibling is attending, and you can add multiple siblings as well. Okay, so this is, again, very important. By completing this information does not mean that you're creating another application for sibling number 1. You're only adding that information to this application. You would, if you are creating multiple applications, you have to do that separately, right? This is only one application for the one student that you're applying for. Once you complete the sibling information, you will then move on to signatures. This is where you're going to read the information that's included here, basically understanding that there's no appeal process to schools of choice, that the selection process is random, unbiased, and determined by chance. Also, regarding the schools of choice being completed after March 31st, the lottery and schools of choice completely ends there. After that date, the waitlisted and every waitlist and all of the lists that are available are completely done, completed, and then that is information that's included here. We also ask you to type in your name and then check off that you agree. And then there's a last note here basically stating that you understand that an interdistrict agreement, schools of choice eligibility, may be denied or revoked because of excessive tardiness, poor attendance record, unsatisfactory academic progress, behavior which disrupts the education program, including student failure to obey school rules and regulations. So we do ask parents to sign off on this and then check off. This information is because essentially our open enrollment is an intra-district permit that you're being issued for your student for the grade span. So for elementary, for middle, for high school, right? You don't have to apply every year, you apply at each transition. But if there are ever any concerns about the child's attendance, behavior, etc., then this can be revoked and you may be asked to return to your home school within the district. Once you've signed here and checked off, you will then move on to the final step, which is where you're going to review and send your application. You will have to make sure that you click on submit application. Okay, so make sure that this is at the bottom of the page. You click submit application, and then after you submit your application, you're going to be presented to this. This is your parent dashboard. This is where you can actually go in, view your application, and see your child's application, make edits, etc. If you're going to add another student, you simply click here, add a student, and it'll begin a new application for that additional child, right? So this is where you're going, the dashboard is where you can view this information. If you receive messages, you will be alerted here. So it's really important that you're consistently coming in, just checking in on your applications throughout the school of choice process. And then finally, if you were to click on your child's application, it's going to show you the three different applications you submitted for that child, and it'll tell you it's been submitted and processing, your rankings, what numbers they are, etc. You can also come in and withdraw applications. You can edit the ranking. If you choose to move these schools around, you can do that as well. Okay. Okay. So that is the walkthrough of the application. We will be providing a tutorial, a quick and short tutorial that will be available in English and Spanish on the website for parents to view, to kind of summarize and provide assistance with completing your application. I want to jump into inter-district information. So out-of-district families will be able to apply for enrollment within ABC Unified School District through the inter-district application process beginning April 1st. So I'm going to go ahead and show you where you will be able to view this information. If you go to the ABC Unified School District website, for example, you select family, you select child welfare and attendance. When you're there, you're going to select permits. And once you're here, you're going to see three different tabs here. So throughout the entire year, we're accepting incoming inter-district permit applications, right? So that's why you see here for 22-23 school year, we're currently still accepting applications for this school year, and this is a process that we have for families that are incoming this school year. For families that are going to be applying for next school year, 23-24, this is a tab, the first tab that you would be selecting. In here, beginning April 1st, we're going to have a link for you to submit an application where you will be able to upload your inter-district form, releasing you from your district of residence. And then if you are, for example, a current family attending ABC Unified School District, you've been attending here since kindergarten or first grade, your child is transitioning from elementary to middle school, we have current grades, we have attendance record, we have discipline, and we have IEP information. So all you need to do is complete the application and submit your release, your inter-district release form from your district of residence in the application. For any families that are completely new to the district, that are not residents of the district, you're a completely new family applying for enrollment with ABC, you will be required to submit all of this information in your application. Okay, so just make sure if you don't enter this information, your application is not going to be completed, and it's going to put a hold on us being able to review your application and offering you a placement within the district, right? So again, this application process will begin April 1st, and there will be more information for families. What I do advise that you do now is that you please start working with your district of residence, getting your inter-district applications completed by them. Sometimes it can take up to 30 days, depending on where they're at, where other districts are at. If you get denied, for example, if your district of residence denies your release from their district, you do have the ability to appeal. There is an appeal process. Just inquire about that with your district of residence, but that would be done through your district of residence, okay? And so we are hoping, our goal is, because there's been this shift in the dates for schools of choice, that we will have the opportunity to place all of our students, both residents during the school of choice process, and then also all of our interested inter-district permits will be placed by June before everyone goes off for summer break. So that is the goal, and we're hoping that that's going to be very possible, considering that we have shifted schools of choice about 2 months ahead that it has been in the past, okay? Application assistance. So your home school is able to provide application assistance for the school of choice process. So to all of our resident families, you can reach out to your home school and they are able to provide assistance after January 1st. Keep in mind that we understand that we will be in winter break. We will be returning to the office and school sites January 9th. So we do advise you to really use the School of Choice website as a resource, the FAQs, the videos that will be posted on there as a resource to help you complete your applications, or at least get your applications started. Once we get back to the school sites and to the district, you can reach out to your schools and ask for assistance. If you're currently attending a school of choice because you've been through the school of choice process before, that's the school you would be reaching out to for support with applying for another school in the school of choice process. Additionally, the Child Welfare and Attendance Office is always here to support you. We will be providing support by appointment. So we do advise you to call and schedule an appointment, and you will be receiving assistance and guidance with the application, either over the phone or in person as well. The application, again, is very user-friendly, so we believe it's very simple to complete, and it should be you know, a lot faster for you to complete than it has been in the past. And that is all I have for you this evening. So I know that questions have been submitted under the Q&A, and I'm going to now open it up to the staff that we had checking the Q&A. I know that they were working on answering questions. Are there any questions that came up?
A lot of the questions have, or most of the questions have been answered. So they were very specific to each person's situation or child. A lot of clarification is being asked as far as inter-district permits and how those are going to be ranked, reviewed, if they're going to have priorities. It's been a very common question. They're afraid that there won't be spots for them because they're not being included in schools of choice.
Okay, so I definitely want to provide reassurance to our inter-district families. We believe that with the separation of school of choice, I think there's going to be less confusion with the process. And with the inter-district application process, there will not be any rankings. You're going to complete your inter-district application form with your district of residence. You're going to indicate on that form the district, which is ABC Unified School District, and then also you will include the school that you are applying for. There will also be an option where you will indicate the reason. The reason could be your continuing student or continuing education, sibling, employment within ABC or within the area, childcare. There's a number of there's a number of reasons that you would select for the reasons for the request. You're going to enter that information in the application as well. And then this process for interdistrict families is not going to be a lottery, where it's not going to run in a lottery. We're basically going to try to offer whatever spots we have open, and we're going to try our best to accommodate the request that you're making for the school that you're making on your application. Now, I can assure you that if we do not have a spot available in the particular school that you're requesting, we will not turn you away. We're going to try our best to accommodate you and provide you spots that are available at other schools that we have in our district. So we are going to try our best to be as accommodating as we can to all of our families that are interested in attending our schools.
Another common question that we've received is regarding creating an account. So because they previously created accounts with the old platform, the question is, do I need to create a new account this year?
And the answer is yes. That previous application system that we use no longer exists. We have a new application system, so yes, you will need to create a new account, a new password, new information. So yes, that is.
The rest of the questions have been answered pretty specifically to each situation. There have been a few employees asking how, if they're out of district, inter-district permits, how they're going to be ranked or looked at.
Under an interdistrict process. So in the application, you again will select the
Sorry,
reason.
both inter and intra within.
Okay, so for inter-district, again, you will select the reason. So if you're an employee of the district, you would indicate that in your application. Again, there is no ranking, there is no lottery. So we will try our best to accommodate to all of our applicants as well. And in terms of for our resident families, you will notice that that's no longer a question in the application. The application will not ask the parent whether or not you are employed with ABC Unified School District, because that's not part of the ranking anymore. So again, there's only two rankings, the two that I've mentioned, for sibling and for any ABC resident. Again, that's the only thing. So you won't see a question with regards to being employed with the district.
Also, could we clarify, is there a difference between permanent employee or a substitute employee? And if they're given different, I guess, preference?
So no, again, the school of choice application is not going to ask about if the parent is employed in the ABC Unified School District. That's no longer a question. In terms of the inter-district permit, it's just a checkbox that you're going to add. Are you employed with ABC Unified School District? And you would just indicate yes or no.
And I think just the other very common theme is the inter-district applicants are worried that there will not be spots if all of the residents are going to take the spots through the schools of choice. So maybe clarifying numbers and how they're being posted, or they will be posted.
So again, the school of choice process in the past accommodated for residents and as many inter-district families as we could in that how school of choice functioned before, right? And once school of choice ended, a lot of families were contacted, out of district families were contacted to accommodate because there was still space open. So it is different now in that the applications are now they're separate, right? Our school of choice application is a lot sooner to compete with our local districts. In addition, the applications are separate for residents and for our out-of-district families. The numbers that I mentioned that are going to be posted on the school of choice website under enrollment data, that is specifically based on staffing that our administrators do around this time of the year to look at the number of teachers they have, the number of classrooms, the number of spots they have available, okay? So those numbers are specifically for school of choice residents. Those numbers do not reflect what will be available for our inter-district families, okay? That is going to look different depending on where we're at after school of choice. School sites are going to reach out and let me know this is how many spots to have available, and then we're going to try to accommodate as much as we can the requests that our out-of-district families are making. I don't know how else to reassure you, but I can tell you that we are very positive about this new application process, and we know that, with, lower enrollment and things like that, all districts are right now wanting to receive students, both, residents and out of district families. So I can't, reassure you enough that I trust this process, and I know that if, there is a situation where you are applying to, as an out of district family, to a highly impacted school, yes, I mean, and that goes for residents too, there is going to be impacted schools, and that's the process that has always existed through school of choice, how it was before and how it is now. But we will try our best to offer you other school sites to try to accommodate that as well.
Any questions about the application and if accounts can already be created? And if they could create this before January 1st.
So no, the application is currently closed. You cannot begin an application right now. The application will be live beginning January 1st at 12:01 a.m. Okay, so right now, if you click on that link, you may be redirected to old information. Pay attention to the school year. You're applying for 2023, 2024, okay? So please make sure that you do not start any application. It should not be available. It is not live yet. And we will work with our communications officer to send you notices as we get closer to January 1st, reminding you to keep an eye out for the application and start your applications beginning January 1st. Okay.
I think we're good. Most of the questions have been answered via the Q&A. We've been answering during the presentation and even up until now. And then we will work on gathering the most common questions and then posting it for our FAQs. So if we want to conclude.
Yes, we will be, again, copying all the questions that came through the Q&A, filtering them and adding any questions to our FAQs that, again, are available on our website for you to review. And again, we appreciate your time. We appreciate you being here. And thank you again. This has been recorded, and we will be posting this on the website. In the next few days, we will also be working on a application tutorial that we will be a short recording of the application process so that you can get some more clarification, actually see it being completed, and then that'll be available to you for support. We're happy to support you in this process. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to call your home school. Secretaries have received this information, or you can also call the Child Welfare and Attendance Office. Okay, thank you all and have a great evening.